No, the title of this is not wasabi in a Zelda game, okay? I have not stumbled across the recipe for that yet. The concept I'm going to talk about today is Wabi Sabi. Beautiful. Wabi Sabi originally stems from Japan and is two philosophical ideas kind of just merged into one. So you might say Wabi Sabi is like wasabi, a spice of life. Wabi stands for the appreciation of the simple things that we have in life. In our current day, a lot of us struggle with just being present in using the bathroom or maybe just eating a meal we have without just having our phone right in front of us. If you use Wabi, it's like a way to just appreciate the things that you have right in front of you and the simple mundane parts of life. The nature of all of our lives is actually kind of slow. It's built from routine with the occasional high octane events like turning 21, bro, or getting married. Give my mic a kiss. When we chase those benchmarks relentlessly, our culture tends to encourage that, and then before you know it, your whole life just kind of passes you by, and we'll be sitting at like the age of 60 being like, where'd all that time go, man? What the hell? That is actually where Wabi comes in, is the present acknowledgement of your routine and an attempt to try to just enjoy that routine while you're here. Practicing presence is actually hard with everything that's marketed to us and our attention being grabbed every which way, but just taking quiet time and even meditating can make a huge difference. I'm speaking from personal experience, but that's one of my favorite activities is meditation and yoga. Sabi is the melancholic realization that everything decays with the passage of time. A really good example of this I can think of is when pottery is broken in Japan. Instead of throwing it away, they take gold and silver lining and then piece together back the pot and put it back on display. And it kind of gives it a passage of time, kind of shows character to it. It's kind of like that mom thing where like if they dent their car, they're like, it gives the car character. It gives the car character. It's so, this is my Nancy. This is my Nancy car. They named it Nancy and then it's got dents. I don't know what's going on. The name of this process is called kintsugi. And if I were to embody the entirety of this video, it would probably be in that art form. The Japanese just tend to really love items that have been used. They have been through a lot. They show wear and tear on them. Even films from Hayao Miyazaki from Studio Ghibli give that sense of wabi-sabi throughout everything that he's made so far. A movie that he's made that comes to mind is called Princess Mononoke, and the entire movie is a dance between nature and civilization, a back and forth, not realizing that they're two sides of the same coin. You also want to see something that's a weird coincidence too? So let's talk about how Nintendo is stealing intellectual properties from their neighbor, Studio Ghibli. Come on, Nintendo. Where's your high and mighty copyright infringement horse now? God damn it, save Melee. Save Melee, please. Miyazaki, I think, is one of the most influential animators honestly in the entire world. I've admired Miyazaki more than Walt Disney because of his respect for nature and his films just kind of having a warm, nice feeling to them. They also feel more grounded and feel as though they're personal experiences that Miyazaki had. You know, if you can hop on a deer in Tears of the Kingdom, you're basically like the protagonist of a Studio Ghibli film. It's pretty similar. I mean, even look at the art style of Link. He looks like he could have been ripped out of a Studio Ghibli movie, but anyway, nature doesn't care about the amount of followers that you have, the shitty hairline that you got, or the car that you drive. Nature just is. The flowers bloom, the river flows, regardless if you decide you want to be a part of it or not. But like the thing is you're already a part of nature. You come from nature, and trying to differentiate yourself from it actually just ends up damaging the self. Okay, I'm ranting about philosophy and Studio Ghibli. We're here to talk about Tears of the Kingdom, right? Okay, Tears of the Kingdom. Here we go. In Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, your swords, shields, weaponry that you find, and bows, they all break with usage. This is a mechanic that people complained about in the first entry, Breath of the Wild. so they decided to keep it in. Respect. I personally love this mechanic, contrary to the people who dislike it. There's a certain ebb and flow to the rotation of weaponry that you come across that progressively reflects the environments that you're in. Having attachments to the weapons that you own only leads to you not using the weapon, it taking up slots, and making you a weaker player, because it really limits the choices that you have in between your weaponry when you run into situations that you need the weapons. How the game is designed forces you to be creative and resourceful when it comes to solving problems. Instead of guardrailing your entire playthrough to just one solution, like you're playing bowling with the rails up, why even bowl at that point? Yeah, I'm probably roasting half of you. I bet you still bowl with the guardrails. Okay, come on, man. This is life. Grow up. Well, these design choices actually are also a reflection of Wabi Sabi as well. There's also a certain beauty in Link changing throughout the progression of your play too. As you move through Tears of the Kingdom, you collect more clothing and weapons and material to help you progress through the game. When you collect new clothing, you put it on, and it typically reflects the environment that you're going through. Unless you're a master chef, you're cooking up stuff here in the kitchen, then you can be butt naked in the cold if you want. My spice tolerance is actually so low that I bet you I could stand in like -degree weather for like 10 minutes butt naked. If I ate what Link was cooking up, I could probably do it. I bet you I could do it. The game is open world, designed in such a way that it allows each individual player to have their own unique journey throughout Hyrule, and it captures that OG spirit of Zelda. No cap, it's pretty fire. Minish cap, oh god. You can go anywhere in the game, so the individual events actually vary from person to person. All of the new mechanics that they introduced in Tears of the Kingdom allows for so much experimentation in terms of traversing through the map in Zelda. Because like in Breath of the Wild, you had like your trusty steed, you jump from somewhere really high with your canopy thing. Why the hell can I not remember what that's called? And maybe if you're lucky, you get that sick-ass motorcycle that was like way too big for Link. Well, you get all that with the addition to the Zonai devices in the game, which adds so much experimentation in terms of actually trying to traverse around the map. People are making some of the most insane contraptions that I've seen online, and I have the creativity to make a balloon and fly extremely high, then skydive, screaming, bye-bye! Riding in the balloon is actually my favorite because of how relaxing it is. Getting blasted with rockets attached to anything is always extremely fun. And using the wings is like this really nice high ride. It's just so nice. One of the things I was talking about with my friend Nathan was about how this game allows you to traverse the map without giving you like quest markers or bombarding you with quests to do, and it just lets you explore the environment. This has actually allowed me to approach the game with stronger presence, and I tend to feel authentic surprise, like genuine surprise with the things I discover, rather than just being like, yay, a billion things dropped and I got legendary loot out of it. Time to do the exact same thing I just did, but for 2 hours in a different location. Oh, I have to go, I gotta go here now. Let me just like turn off my brain and play the game, I guess. If it's not obvious, Elden Ring took a very clear inspiration from Breath of the Wild, but I hope we just get more open worlds like this in general. It makes me feel like I'm a kid all over again, discovering these new worlds. Let me actually talk about the world, because it's the whole reason that I decided to make this video in the first place. I've taken the time to complete Tears of the Kingdom without a completionist mindset. I normally let whatever I see in the distance to kind of pop up naturally, and then I just go to whatever interests me at that point in time. I find myself getting lost in this world, each individual portion of the map representing like a season, and then I end up having entire play sessions in just one section of the map. Because each region of the map is so different than the others, it makes Hyrule feel like kind of a living, breathing ecosystem where each part of the map has something to offer to the whole as a game. The transition between environments too isn't super abrupt. It's actually kind of natural when you move from place to place. And then when you traverse between maps, I love that it gets hotter and colder the deeper that you get into the map. So you'll either have to put on more layers or put on clothes that make you take more layers off, if that makes sense. If you haven't played Zelda, that probably makes no sense at all. But something I haven't noticed people talk about all too much is how you bring old items from environments that you've been to the next environment that you're going through, and the materials and weapons that you get for the one environment help you to navigate the next. If you're like in the snow region, you bring the stuff from the snow region into like the volcanic region, and it helps you against the people on fire to cool them down, to ice them. I don't know that one Arnold one-liner, but it's like something like that. I don't know.
All right, everyone, chill.
You also collect flame peppers early on in the first region of the map to help you go through the snow region, the Rito village portion of the map. And then you use the fruit inside of the Rito portion, the snow region, to keep you cool when you go through the hot portions of the map. But yeah, that's just like a little example, I guess. I just think it's so neat. I think that's so cool. Zelda's fun. Go play Breath of the Wild. Go play Tears of the Kingdom. One of them. I don't know. They got Wabi Sabi and they're sick. Each of these environments have things called shrines, which are just basically mini dungeons that you go through. If you complete 4, you have the option to take Link to get his health upgraded or his stamina upgraded. Because of this mechanic, it rewards you a lot for exploring, and as you explore, Link progressively gets stronger and stronger. Ideally, you can take on harder and harder enemies and go outwards more and more in the map. But the main content to me isn't even the point of the game. To me, stumbling across everything in the game and feeling that joy when I find something new is the reason that I play Tears of the Kingdom. So I'm playing with an entire disregard for how long that journey is going to end up taking me. You do have a mechanic where you can warp between towers that you find in the game that reveal the map, as well as shrines that you find in between to help you traverse faster and just complete the game in general faster. This in the late game can be a convenient mechanic, but I think people can rely on the quest counters and just moving on from task to task without really thinking about it much, because that's kind of been what's pushed on us in terms of games and the real world. Notably, people like Nikki Jakey and Joseph Anderson have paired these games with From Software's games because they encourage the authentic discovery of content in the game through just exploring the map rather than giving you waypoints and quest counters and all this stuff and then just go down the list over and over and over, give you incentive to do stuff. These developers have evolved their process all throughout the years, and they've gotten to the point where they can monetize us and treat us like we're stupid, pretty much. But I think From Software and Nintendo have done a good job of keeping up with our tastes and understanding what people actually want. A fair amount. I'm not letting you guys completely off the hook. From Software, I won't forget that Ice DLC in Dark Souls 3. I can't remember the name of it right now, but I won't forget, okay? I remember that. Also, I recommend that you watch Nikki Jakey and Joseph Anderson if you need something to watch after this. They've made some of my personal favorite videos on this platform. They're also big heroes of mine. If you guys even see this, I astral project you a bajillion kisses on your foreheads, and I hope you have like 30 kids and keep living life like Genghis Khan or something, have like a billion wives or something. I don't know, whatever makes you happy. So we could take the approach of warping around, Googling everything to find in the game, which inevitably leads us to mindlessly consuming the content that's in this game. Or we can take an approach where we're just present with the game, we play the game itself, no quest counters other than what's needed, and just let yourself discover the content authentically inside of the game. This mindset leads us to approach the game with Wabi Sabi. Over the span of writing and recording this, I've really taken the time to appreciate the environments that Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom have built for Nintendo at a beautifully locked 30 FPS. With the combination of time that passes through Hyrule, the world in Tears of the Kingdom makes you feel like you can just stop anywhere and admire the scenery that's around you. You don't gain anything from a material aspect doing this, but the emotion of contentment I get while playing this game and stopping to admire everything is worth it. Either this be inside of the game or outside, preferably with a cup of tea. So, going back to the Japanese stuff, tea is extremely important to the East. When I think of American values, typically I think of like that 30-year-old woman who's like really pushing her career. She runs the Starbucks in her nice cashmere suit, and she's freaking hauling ass in her Tesla to get to her office job. The Japanese, rather than in a rush, choose to make an entire gathering and a ritual based on just drinking tea. Tea ceremonies have a guideline called Wakaisei Jeku. Tea rooms are accessed through a crawl space and physically symbolize people getting onto the same level. It's a way to practice humility to be part of the tea room, and it allows a deep intimacy through the act of drinking tea together. In this aspect, Tears of the Kingdom also uses Wakaisei Jeku. Link has had an intense glow up over the span of the games, but he still gets knocked on his ass, and he still wears goofy outfits. What makes Link a hero is his ability to not let this affect him. He still gets back up, and he still ends up having the courage and being the hero we need to finish his mission. Now that's the way of the warrior. What a badass. The West encourages getting a good career, getting a good education, making all the right decisions, and etc, etc, etc. What does any of that mean to the individual, though? Many people will give you logical answers for this. I'm going to spoil it for you, though. I can't tell you what the right and wrong things are for you, the person who's watching this. There's so much noise from parents, teachers, and peers trying to tell our kids what they should be doing with our time. This will be my last Japanese concept I bring up, but it's called yugen. Yugen is a term coined for something that you find beauty in that is not typically beautiful at all. There's a lot of this out there in the world. I think genuine smiles from people are a form of yugen, even if they have crooked or fucked up teeth. It's the fact that they give me an authentic smile is the really beautiful part of that. And I think your heart tends to talk a lot in the way through yugen. The mind is actually a tool that you should use to help you achieve the things that your heart desires. When we neglect the heart, we end up burning out, fizzling out, breaking down. When it comes to working on things, your work should actually be something that you have to practice restraint with instead of pushing and motivating yourself to do. I could spend all day reading or writing, making these videos, or making beats. These are all things I love to do. I even love to play Melee to wind down some nights. This is a routine that I love, so much so that I'll forget to brush my teeth or go to bed when I'm supposed to go to bed. The goal isn't to do something that we are able to retire early from. The goal, in my opinion, is to find something we want to do for the rest of our lives, even if it ends up being the thing that kills us. I die a lot in Tears of the Kingdom, but I've loved every death the same. It has been so much fun. So I bring this question to you. What is the most important to you? Recognition you get from your actions, or the personal experience you have from events that you go through to glue together what creates your life? Either or isn't exclusive. I'm not saying you can't have both, but I found that if you pursue the latter, the former will come tumbling after. Each individual person has stories with the games that we choose to play. It's like a double life combined with the life that we live. This is what creates value, is the stories that you and I are able to bring forth and co-create. That is my Wabi Sabi, and for me, you need to chase what brings you peace. Kind of selfish to say that, but I'm telling you to chase what your dreams and what you want and shit like that. So yeah, I love you. Play Tears of the Kingdom. It's really fucking fun, just so you know. If you haven't picked it up, you probably should. Go live your life, kings and queens and all in betweens. I'm gonna head out, so goodbye now.
Link. The Master Sword. Your sword. She is the key to destroying the Demon King. He defeated her before, A long slumber will heal these grievous wounds. And when you two next face the Demon King, you will have my strength to help you through her. Link, you are our final hope. I pray this sword reaches you in the